compassion fatigue and when trauma drains our relationships. So have you ever felt emotionally drained from supporting someone you love? I'm pretty sure you have. Like, no matter how much you give, it's never enough, right? It's called compassion fatigue, and it's real, and it's happening all the time. Now, compassion fatigue doesn't just happen to caregivers or therapists. It happens every day in relationships where trauma is present. When someone we love is struggling, we naturally want to help. It's because that's who we are. But over time, the emotional weight just drains us. It exhausts us. It even makes us pull away. Not because we don't care, because we're just depleted. And today I'm breaking down how trauma affects the people we love and what we can do to stop it from damaging our relationships. Now, imagine two people in a small boat. One is carrying a really heavy backpack full of bricks. It's constantly shifting, it's balancing. The other person doesn't have the backpack, but it feels the weight too. It's trying to steady the boat. It's making adjustments of their own. This is kind of what happens in relationships where trauma exists. Even if trauma happens to one person, it has that rippled effect. Imagine throwing a stone in a pond. It has that effect. It impacts parents, family, friends, your work. But what's the key takeaway today? Trauma is done to you, not because of you. It isn't about blame. It's about awareness. It's because when we understand how trauma impacts the relationship or our relationships, we can break the cycle. Okay, there's 3 key points today. Number 1, what is compassion fatigue? Compassion fatigue happens when someone gives emotional support for a long time or over a long period of time. They start to feel like they have nothing left to give. And it's not just about stress or about burnout. I mean, this is emotional depletion that comes from caring for someone over a long time. So in relationships, this happens when a partner or loved one takes on the emotional weight of someone else's trauma. Easily done. Over time, they start to feel tired, frustrated, or even guilty for needing space. And compassion fatigue doesn't mean they don't care. Oh gosh, on the contrary, it means they're running on empty. They need to fill their battery. Number 2, how trauma affects the people around us. We never heal from our trauma in isolation, okay? Our trauma impacts the world around us. And here how it happens. We are emotionally volatile. Trauma can create highs and lows, and one moment we're affectionate, the next we're overwhelmed. And loved ones feel like they're always walking on eggshells. Hypervigilance and control issues. So feeling unsafe can turn into micromanagement, overanalysis. Partners feel smothered or criticized. And you know what? When they pull away and they need time on their own, you're like, well, come on, why do you need that? What's going on? Are you having an affair? Are you seeing someone? Why won't you be with me? Disaster. Avoidance and emotional withdrawal. Some trauma survivors shut down emotionally, leaving their loved ones feeling rejected, or you kind of feel unimportant. But feeling too much or not enough is also an issue, and trauma survivors often feel really guilty for needing support, which will make them pull away even more. But these behaviors aren't intentional, never. They are simple survival mechanisms. But you've got to recognize the impact of these relationships, because that, in essence, gives us the power to change it. So number 3, how do we recognize compassion fatigue? So someone you love might be experiencing compassion fatigue if they seem emotionally exhausted or distant. They express frustration or irritation more easily. They pull away from deep conversations or need more time alone. And they may say things like, I just don't know what to say anymore. Like, I just don't know what to say. This isn't about blaming the trauma survivor. It's about recognizing when one of your loved ones needs space. So, look, compassion fatigue is real. But relationships don't have to suffer because of it. Trauma doesn't affect just one person, remember, it affects the people closest to you. And when we recognize compassion fatigue, we can take the steps to recognize it and to prevent it. And healing will start with awareness, communication, and healthy boundaries. Those 3 things are really important. Now, if there's one thing you take away from today, let it be this. It's not your fault, but healing is in your power. Now, if this resonates with you, let's keep the conversation going. You're in my Facebook group. If you are on YouTube or on another channel, join our Facebook group, the Trauma Recovery School. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. I go online weekly with practical tools. I educate. I want you to learn about what's happening to you. And of course, please drop a comment below the video. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But before I go, here's a few really important things. We have more solutions than just breath work and somatic work and body work. We don't just deal with low-level stress. We deal with deep trauma triggers, and they need specific tools and specific techniques. And that's what we provide in our trauma recovery method. If you are struggling with your food and gut health, we know our clients struggle with that. We emotionally eat. It's just a sign. Our nutritional coach and therapist, Kerry, gets you the support that you need there. If you need help with your confidence, with your self-esteem, if you're feeling really low, we know that happens when you're coming through trauma. Our confidence and resiliency coach, Megan, is here to help you. Now, if you need to get rid of those thoughts, those feelings, those behaviors, those emotions that you know hold you back from your trauma, why don't you attend one of our masterminds? Look out for our mastermind. Indulge yourself in it. Learn about what we have to say. You know, healing isn't just about surviving. It's about thriving and getting yourself through this. So if you're ready to take the next steps, book a consultation with us because your healing starts today. I'd love to hear more from you. Bye.